Welcome to our new Episcopal News video series. I'm Janet Kawamoto, editor of the news, and today we're going to talk about the 2020 meeting of Diocesan Convention, which due to the COVID pandemic is going to follow a new form, even as we maintain as much as we can of the bonds of ministry and friendship that make convention a highlight of the church's year. Please welcome the leaders of our convention team, Secretary of Convention, Canon Stephen Nishibayashi, and Convention Coordinator, Samantha Wylie. Please also welcome Canon to the Ordinary, Melissa McCarthy, who oversees convention planning on behalf of Bishop John Harvey Taylor and Bishop Suffragan Diane M. Jardine Bruce. Steve, this year's convention theme is Servants of the Spirit. How are we going to have a meeting of about 1,000 of these servants, including delegates, clergy members, exhibitors, visitors, staff, in the middle of a pandemic when gatherings of more than about 10 people are still likely to be discouraged or outright banned?
We are going to literally invoke the Spirit for a virtual convention. We will not be meeting in Riverside in person, and we will lose the community aspect of being with our fellow diocesan church people, but we have spent a lot of time and effort and will continue to research new ways of connecting with each other, sharing the good news, becoming the beloved community, and doing the business at hand, all from the privacy of our own cameras. So it will be an adventure. We're not alone in this adventure. Other dioceses have done this before, and Samantha and I have invoked opportunities to learn from other people's experience. We fortunately have been able to use electronic voting over the past 2 in-person conventions, and we will continue that, and it will facilitate efficient conducting of the business of convention.
Great. Well, every year the convention delegates are responsible for voting for diocesan officers, and they're often called on to vote on resolutions and changes to constitution and canons of the diocese, that sort of thing. Sam, how will you handle the logistics of registration and voting when we meet online?
Well, voting, as Steve mentioned, we've been doing electronically for the last couple of years. We've been using a company called QuickTally, and they have been absolutely wonderful to work with, and we're going to be using them again this year. So all of the delegates are any web-connected device with smartphones or PCs or tablets. They're going to be able to go onto a website that we're going to have password protected, and delegates that are registered will be able to log on, and they'll be able to vote that way. And it'll basically work like an instantaneous poll. And so we'll get results in real time and be able to do voting that way, as we've done the last couple of years. So anyone that's attended convention the last couple of years will be familiar with the company and what we've been doing. In terms of registration, that's something that we're still working on. As of last year, we've been accepting forms online, and so that's been really helpful. We've been able to continue that practice, having all the forms online, and we'll see as we get closer how we work on counting a quorum and making sure that everybody is there. But likely we're going to be looking at pre-registration to make sure we have enough time to count everybody to make sure that they've shown up. That's a work in progress, but yeah, we're going to be using technology to get everything done, and it's good the way things have advanced, because I think it'll work smoothly.
It's amazing what technology will do.
Absolutely.
Melissa, I understand we have a few canonical changes slated for approval this year. Would you tell us about those?
So there's a change to Canon 2. Now, this change is designed to clarify missions not in union with convention. So currently, the canons say that each mission that is recognized by the bishop but not in union with convention is entitled to 1 lay delegate chosen by its members. The changes that we're proposing to the canons clarify these missions as mission centers. Now, the background for this canonical change is places like Abundant Table, FADS, St. Michael's Ministry Outreach Center are institutions that are part of our diocese, that the bishop is in relationship with, that has a pastoral relationship with, and they participate in the life of our church, but they have not been able to come to convention to vote. So by creating mission centers as part of our canons, that will enable them the opportunity to come and take part in convention. So that's basically what the change is about.
So it'll increase our representation.
Definitely. And for missions, and I use mission with a lowercase m, that are different than mission congregations necessarily. So, you know, again, these are communities that are part of our diocese, but don't fit into a more traditional parochial mission. Voting life of our diocese will be really great. It's important that we take this step, I think.
And those changes, if approved by this convention, will have to be ratified by next year's convention as well?
Correct. Yes. Yeah, canonical changes take 2 votes.
I see. Steve, will we have the usual pre-convention deanery meetings? How will those be conducted?
So the pre-convention deanery meetings have already been scheduled and the dates have been circulated. It is our expectation that the deans and the deanery councils will conduct business as they have been doing. However, it may need to be done virtually. And so that they can discuss things like the budget, potential elected offices, and the other pre-convention deanery business, including the proposed changes to the canons that Canon McCarthy just described. There will be diocesan staff representation available to each of those deanery meetings. So they will take place. They are critical, again, to the efficient running of convention so that many of the commonly considered questions can be asked in smaller group sessions, and those questions can be answered prior to the actual dates of convention. All of that consideration then leads to more efficient and more inclusive conversations about the work of the diocese and approval at convention.
Great. And Sam, at the convention, how about the exhibit hall, a favorite aspect of convention? How do you do an online exhibit hall?
I know everybody wants to go shopping. I do too. I'm really going to miss it. You know, I've been working with the exhibitors for years now and I love it. But yeah, that was definitely something I had to think about. So what I'm planning this year is we're going to do a virtual exhibit hall. Even though we can't share the same physical space, I still wanted to make sure that delegates and visitors could connect with our exhibitors. So what we're essentially going to do is offer our exhibitors real estate on the convention website. So we're going to have its own page. It'll be a gallery with pictures and links, and I'm going to be inviting all of the exhibitors that we've had for years to send me information, materials, links to their website, videos, anything that they want to present on the website, they can go ahead and send me, and we'll have a gallery up on the website. And you know, I want to keep that connection going and maintain that relationship. And you know, normally an exhibitor would have to pay a small fee to participate in the exhibit hall to help us cover costs. For this year, we're gonna do it free of charge. It's just, you know, maintaining that connection and thanking people for their support and keeping that going. Yeah.
That's great. Will we be able to carry on any of our the usual social interactions, the fun stuff at convention? I guess we can't have s'mores this year, but there might be something.
No, I'm looking forward to doing that next year, though.
Yes. For those who don't attend convention, that was Canon McCarthy's idea last year, and with the help of Camp Stevens and the convention center staff, we pulled off having s'mores in the patio. We hope that will happen again in the future. Melissa, every year the convention elects members of a variety of diocesan committees and boards, everything from standing committee to the Canterbury college programs. Can anyone run for these offices? Do they have to have special expertise or somebody's permission to run, or
they don't need
anything like
permission.
that?
They do need to be nominated, and nomination forms, as well as all the information you need about what offices are open for election this year, can be found on our website. You can go to the tab on the right, scroll down, and find Diocesan Convention, or I just pulled it up on my phone. You can go to diocesanconvention.com, and it has all the information as well. So regarding special qualifications, I think, you know, when discerning about whether or not to run for one of these offices that are open for election, it's really about what sort of stirs you and what your heart is saying to you. So for example, the Diocesan Investment Trust, that's a group that are our trustees for our diocesan investments. And really it helps to have people run for that particular position who are financial folks and have some real experience working in the financial world. Standing Committee, Diocesan Council, that's a great place for people who are lay leaders in their church, maybe have been on their vestry or done other work, other program kind of work in their congregations, and want to get involved in the life of the diocese. Council is a really great place to start. Standing Committee is a little bit more intensive, I think, than council. And I think really it's just a matter of praying and discerning if this is right for you. But we definitely encourage anyone who is interested to run. You don't need an invitation. You don't need to be a special person. You just need to be an Episcopalian and a member of our diocese.
Who can nominate someone else? Who is authorized to sign a nomination form, for instance?
I think pretty much any other Episcopal, a delegate, any other delegate to convention. Thanks, Sam. I'm really glad you knew that answer.
And or you can self-nominate.
Yes. And members of the clergy can also nominate someone else or themselves. Is that correct?
Yes. Members of the clergy are automatically part of convention. So, yeah.
Right. So obviously we have a lot of things that are still being planned. And as a matter of fact, at the news, we plan to have a series of articles and maybe some more of these video conversations about some of those offices and what they do and what those boards and committees do, so that anyone who is interested, I hope, will tune in when we do that to find out more. More information is in the convention story that is on the Episcopal News website, episcopalnews.com. We'll have more updates on convention arrangements, topics to be discussed, and all pertinent information in coming weeks. Thank you, Secretary of Convention Steve Nishibayashi, Convention Coordinator Sam Wylie, and Canon to the Ordinary Melissa McCarthy. I appreciate you sharing convention plans with all of us today. And if you have comments or suggestions, please email them to news@ladiocese.org. If you are interested in anything having to do with Diocesan Convention, go to diocesanconvention.com. Other matters concerning the Diocese of Los Angeles, diocesela.org. Thank you.